Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and we're going inside the war room with the Tennessee Titans. We're going to take a look at their team needs to see what players could be possible targets to fill those needs. But first, let's take a look at the upcoming selections the Titans have in this year's draft.
The Titans come into the 2013 draft with 9 selections. That's a lot of opportunity to get better. And when you look at this roster and look at how they played last season, this team wasn't that bad. But let's look at some of their team needs, not necessarily in any order. They could use a defensive tackle, some offensive line depth, 2 outside linebackers to back up their front line starters. Cornerback depth is a question mark, and it could also use some help at defensive end. First round pick number 10, let's look at their 7th-round mock draft. I have Sharrif Floyd falling to these guys. I think that would be an ideal selection for their defense. At times, while in college, this guy dominated games and took them over. I think he instantly upgrades their Titans defensive line. In the 2nd round, I think they addressed the offensive line depth with Larry Warford out of Kentucky, quite honestly, and not to use a lot of hyperbole, but this guy may be one of the best guards to come out of Kentucky since Damani Dawson. I think this guy will be a star from day one for the Titans. Building alone at offensive line depth, I think Kyle Long in the 3rd round makes a lot of sense. Take a chance on a guy with a lot of question marks, but he has the size, the pedigree, and the athleticism that's worthy of a 3rd round selection. And also Logan Ryan. I'm a big fan of his. Saw a lot of his games out here in the New York City area. This guy has ball skills, feisty corner, and can also help out in the return game. I believe this is a solid pick in the 4th round for Tennessee, giving you some depth alone at offensive line. Again, we're rebuilding the offensive line for Tennessee. Khaled Holmes will be an ideal selection at number 4. Moving to the defensive side of the football and addressing the outside linebacker depth, which is a question mark. In my opinion, Ty Powell out of Harding could help solve that. This guy can also play middle linebacker and can put his hand in the ground as a defensive end in certain situations. I like this pick for Tennessee. Here's a sleeper defensive end pick, Quan Smith out of Western Kentucky. This guy was probably going to be a 2nd or 3rd round selection had it not been for the ACL injury. So the Titans get a steal this far down in round 6. I'm going back to the outside linebacker position with Jordan Campbell out of New Mexico Highlands. He was formerly of USC, transferred, found a home at New Mexico Highlands, and dominated that competition. This guy is a run stuffer that also excels in pass coverage. Also in round 7, I will take a chance on Jordan Rodgers out of Vanderbilt, the brother of Aaron Rodgers. I like what he brings to the table, led that Vanderbilt team to a bowl game, and I think he has the leadership skills that you want out the quarterback position. Now let's take a look at the recap of the selections the Titans made in my 7th-round mock draft. A lot of talented players on this list. We rebuilt the offensive line depth. We added a defensive tackle that could start from day one, and a solid cornerback prospect in Logan Ryan. Keep an eye on him. And some sleepers from smaller schools like Ty Powell, Quan Smith, and also Jordan Campbell. And I want to give a huge shout out to Tennessee Titan fan forums for always showing football game plan support.